This video is for business leaders who want to maintain a top quality business and social media network. Watch to the end to get more insights on networking tips on social media and in person. This video is based on one of my most popular articles that I published on social media about a year ago now. I'll put a link to that in the description. So while it focused specifically on maintaining the quality of your LinkedIn network, it applies to all social media as well as in person, though kind of after the fact. There's some strategies that work both in person and some that you apply after you've met them. That will make more sense when we get into this. So it's an unfortunate fact that events with the word networking in the title or description tend to be dominated by takers, which are the opposite of the people you really want to build business relationships with. So let's start with digital media networking. Just remember that to use the same better practices after in-person events. That is, when you meet people in person, that's fine. You could exchange business cards or email addresses, whatever you do with them digitally, but follow these practices after the fact before you sort of let them into your digital network. So before accepting or even making an invitation to connect with somebody on social media online, check their profile on the platform that they've invited you from, because you can learn a lot about them. Especially you'll see some profiles will have absolutely nothing in them. They're actually not active on the platform. There's no evidence they exist except just a picture and their name. And to me, that's kind of a warning sign that they're maybe not somebody you want to connect with. So ask yourself some questions. And one of them is, can we complement one another? That is there something about what we talked about, what they do, or indications of what they do that would mean that there might be some kind of synergy between us? Next one you could ask is, can they help anyone in my network? That is, can they help others? Can they help me? Now, I would put that last, but this also is, remember, in the case of a passive invitation from them. If it's an interaction between you, you can also, and probably should also, say, look, how can I help you? Be careful though, because some people, especially if they're takers, are happy to have you help them, but will have nothing to offer in return. Now, you shouldn't be helping somebody with the assumption of an exchange, but at the same time, you don't want people who are entirely always happy to take and never ever to return. Those aren't the kind of people you want in your network, and you'll see why later in this video. So there's something called open networkers, or in particular, the proud declaration of LinkedIn open networkers. By definition, they'll connect with anybody, which means if it's not them, they're happy, just as happy to connect with spammers and takers and fake accounts. So if you connect with them, that will lower your quality, the quality of your network if it's a digital network. So beware. I would actually caution, do not connect with open networkers simply because, or especially because, they're very proud that they've done that. So, you know, be open to connecting with anybody, sure, but check them out before letting them into your professional network. It's just a good, a better practice to do. So, you know, it's exciting and it feels great to see your network growing really quickly, but if that network isn't quality, if it's just a bunch of people spamming and wanting to sell their products to you and everybody in your network, that's not really what you want. You can think of it this way: whatever they do to you, especially if it's like Forex or cryptocurrency or whatever it is, whatever they're trying to pitch at you, if you let them into your network, they will absolutely pitch everybody else they can reach in your network. So if you don't want that yourself, or you wouldn't want to do that to the people in your network, then don't let them in. So conversely, anyone who first seeks to give you value, wants to help or build a relationship with you, will probably be and do the same with others. So these are the kind of connections you want, obviously. If one of your new connections immediately starts with some version of what they would like to sell you, seriously consider removing them from the network. That is, if you've accepted a connection online, or even in person. And the next thing that you know, like the next interaction, if it wasn't in the first interaction, they're trying to sell you something, beware and consider removing them from your network immediately. So I would say, as it says here, it says selective networking. I would also call it connect selectively, because you want to maintain a quality network, because of the behavior that they engage in on your network and with your network connections that they're now associated with will reflect not just on them, but also on you. So thank you for watching this far. We've made it to sort of the extra insights, the bonus material, if you will. And so now I'm going to talk about some extra networking tips, and I'm going to start with something that I have to give credit for, and this is Charlie at Charisma on Command. He did a video called How to Network for Introverts, I think. I'll put the link in the description as well. And he said, ask some version, or this is how I took it. He said, ask some version of the Tyrion Lannister question from Game of Thrones. And if you know the series, you probably know what that is. If you don't, he honestly and very straightforwardly says to a lot of people, what do you want? Now you can ask some kind of question like, so what are you hoping to get out of this event? So what are you looking forward to? What are you interested in? What do you want from this conversation? Is there something in particular you're interested in? Let's talk about that. You can also ask, what things are you doing that you're excited about right now? Because of course, this is getting them talking about themselves, which is never a bad thing. Now, this is Tim's tip. That would be me. Let me try that again. Tim's tip for the talkative. After asking whatever question to evoke answers from them, ideally open-ended questions, press your lips together and mindfully feeling them touch one another. I call this feel your lips. Because while you're feeling your lips aren't moving, and you're listening and you're not talking. And that's a challenge for me and anybody else with ADHD or who's just really outgoing and extroverted and talkative. Stay that way until they either stop talking or ask you a question. That is, ask the question and let them talk until they're finished, where they've asked you a question where they're obviously wanting an answer to it. So this is about the single most effective technique that I found for myself. It's still continuously and probably always will be a struggle for me because I am a naturally talkative person. But it's a great strategy for me to become mindful and listen more, which is never a bad thing. And one final tip is ask yourself, how dissimilar is this person to me and other members of my network? This is an amazing little insight that I got from a book I read a long time ago. I think it was called Super Connector or something of that nature. Anyway, think of it this way. The less like you they are, the less likely there's an overlap in the members of their network and your network, which means your network expands to a greater degree because they're less similar rather than more similar to you. And that's what that book talked about, and how they actually put that to scientific and mathematical analysis and found out to be true. So you should be seeking, in addition to similar people, they're okay, but they're not going to expand your network as much as dissimilar people will have a bunch of people in their network completely unlike you and your network connections, and that expands your entire network, enlarging the whole thing, connecting you with more people who are then connected to more people. So if you got any value out of this video, please share the love by sharing this video. This has been Crush It Club 206 Network Tips, Connecting Selectively, or Connect Selectively. My name is Tim B. Green. Bye for now.